code. Where are we?
Welcome to Switzerland.
Yeah, we are in Switzerland today because we're gonna visit a really special place for us. I don't know if you see the logo somewhere. We're gonna visit Sikaflex factory today. It's been years that we've been waiting to visit Sika, and today we are finally gonna visit Sika. That's gonna be awesome.
Let's go. We are Duque and Roberta, and after 2 years living aboard Odd, we sold our boat in the Caribbean and we moved to France, where we are gonna build our new exploration aluminum sailboat. So don't forget to subscribe and to join us every Sunday for a new episode.
We just went inside, we were just talking, and they were like, no, we need to record an intro for this video. Let's go outside because there's the logo of Sika right there.
And it's minus 2 degrees Celsius, but it's okay.
So we just did that just to let you know that today we're going to have our host. He's going to be our guide at Sika factory because we use Sika a lot for years, but we've never been here. So we have a lot of questions actually. Yeah. That is probably your questions, and to know how the product's made. Where can we use? How can we use? Can I glue solar panels on the top of the van and not fly away? Is that possible? All these little things. Just to make sure we applied the right Sika on the right place for the right situation.
So, welcome you to Sika. Viewers all around the globe, welcome. We are here at Sika in Zurich. Here is like the kind of origin from Sika, founded in 1910. It's still growing a lot, Sika, and we have now 33,000 employees around the world, like over 100 factories around the world.
Oh. What's the main product of this plant?
We are producing a lot of products here. Yep. One of these is Sikaflex, yes.
So in the right place.
Yeah, we are in the right place.
We told the designer of our boat yesterday that we were going to come to Sika, and he said, oh, you're going to go to the dream place of any sailor, because every sailor needs Sikaflex.
We are going to the R&D lab, and we will see how they like mix the products and what is necessary to do the best products in the world.
That's pretty good, yeah. Let's go.
So here is a little bit of what we want to show you today. We have like the ingredients that we use to make a formulation. A few different formulations, not the whole range, but like a couple of stuff that are going to be useful for you in the immediate future. Mainly concentrated on your van project and like the general purpose, adhesive, sealants, whatever you may use for like sunroof, photovoltaic installation, antenna, vents, whatever you need to do in your van life transformation.
Well, if you are new to our channel, you might not know that while Metaboat Yard builds the hull of our new boat, we will be converting a cargo van into our home on wheels to live on it while we finish the building of our boat ourselves.
Because of your focus, we couldn't avoid marine. We only taken one product here, the 591. That is probably something that you already know, and you're gonna be using inconsistent amount. And we want to show you a little bit. We wanted you to go away with an idea of what you can do with our product. So we are gonna take like the most extreme assembly adhesive and give you a demonstration of how you can use that instead of screwing, instead of nailing for the internal construction of your van.
I don't know if I mentioned with you, but our boat, the new boat, is built in a method of construction called Strongo that was patented by the boat yard we were working with like in the 70s. So usually a metal boat, you have bulkheads, stringers, and then you have plates. In the method of construction you're building, we have no stringers. So with no stringers and not many frames, we don't have many places to bolt the interior of the boat, the structure, the walls, the ceiling, the cabinetry. So that means a lot of the structure we will need to literally glue the furniture to the boat in a way that we can trust.
I think this one is going to be a little bit of inspiration for you today.
So what's the difference between this 118 to the 591, for example?
Rheology. That we can play around with that. I can show you.
Okay.
Or you can try it yourself. This is the most extreme one. The rheology is very special. It's what makes this product so unique.
I never used this. Feels different actually. It's a lot more liquid, soft.
All the big application that you want to make and use in a boat or I mean the RV project is going to be very similar. That is your product of choice.
Okay.
But if you need, as you were saying, like something that substitute nails and screws and bolts, have a look at what we can do.
So this is the one that you find on construction stores?
Yeah. This is a property that we build in several different products.
Okay.
Then you can just stick it on.
And that's it?
Yeah.
It takes about 15 minutes that it starts to shed the skin, so until this you can also
Yeah,
like,
just move it around.
Move it around.
You can reposition, you can hold. Of course, as in every project, you need to be specific on what you're doing, not use anything without knowing what you're doing, especially if you're building like for durability and for quality.
So now, don't try to do that at home. That's the components, but you're not gonna get it right, I'm pretty sure.
I will tell you shortly a bit about like how an adhesive is built up. So the ingredients that you see in these vials, this is actually what we need for one of these cartridge. Doing a formulation is kind of similar than cooking at home. So we have like a lot of stuff that we just mix together, and in the end it gives us the adhesive. Most important thing is the prepolymer. So this is actually what makes the adhesive, what is building the network and makes also the mechanicals of the whole adhesive. And this is also why Sika is actually quite good compared also to some of our competitors, because we do the prepolymers by ourselves already since several years.
Or you produce the
Yeah. No? Ingredients are the filler and the plasticizer, so we have one solid and one liquid one. So if it's like you can imagine if we put into such a high viscous prepolymer a filler that is solid, it's getting quite hard to press out of the cartridge. This is why we also need some plasticizer to make the whole thing fluid again, or at least somewhat fluid. This also gives us a bit of an additional mechanics to the whole adhesive. Then if we go further, it's also really important we have the pigments. So this one here is black pigment, but we can also do white pigments or a lot of different colors, some brown stuff that looks like wood.
Yep.
That when you have like the floor adhesive, that it's similar than the floor. Then we also have the thixotropic agent. This makes the whole body of the adhesive, so it makes it a bit more toolable. Like that you can also tool it with your hand, for example, or if you do a nose or something, or a rope, that it's not falling down, but that it has a bit of a structure. And then finally, these three ingredients, they look like really a small amount. But
these are only amounts already for one?
Yeah.
Oh. Can we take that home and make our own?
You can try.
It won't work, probably. It's one drop. That's the amount of... This is important. That's the catalyst. That's how much... That's nothing.
Yeah. They are really important, so you should
I can tell.
neglect them. I mean, for example, the stabilizer, this is really important if you have... I mean, especially for the marine, if you going to have it in the water, it needs to resist the water and also always the sun. Yeah. And everything. And also the salt.
So the UV protection comes from where? That's the stabilizer. That's the UV protection. So that means if I have one that's not UV protected, there is not enough probably of
maybe less,
a little bit less,
or something different. I mean, there are a lot of different stabilizers. There can be something for UV stability, but also for heat stability.
So, are you guys in the lab always playing around and trying new recipes? Because I'm pretty sure the recipe of this is done is the same for a long time. But are you always trying to play around with, I don't know, experiment and see if you can find something really, really cool?
Every day.
That's a good job.
This is actually what we do.
It's really fascinating. It's very complex, but you can influence that. Well, I mean, we have the knowledge from chemistry, from university and stuff, but you need to come here and really feel the material as you did before and have a little bit of
And it's crazy how just changing the recipe of the same components, you might have a different product that...
Yeah, it makes sometimes like a really small change can make quite a lot of influence. So we also have the additive, so we can have something that makes the adhesion a bit better, but we also have additives that makes that the prepolymer is not starting to cure already in the cartridge, because it's also very important.
Yeah, that's one thing that I never quite understand, as I'm not a chemistry guy. So if I have epoxy resin, for example, as soon as I mix the epoxy resin with the catalyzer, it's gonna, product A and B, it's gonna catalyze and it's gonna get hard. This is already mixed. Is that the oxygen the catalyst?
No, there are two different things. So like for the epoxy, for example, if you mix them together, they are really reactive. So you have in cartridge A and cartridge B, you have like two components that are really reactive together, and this is why you cannot pre-mix them before. So as soon as you mix them, they start to react. And this one here is yes, I mean it needs a catalyst and an additive, but it doesn't start to cure in here because it needs the water. So it needs the humidity from the air.
Oh, it's the humidity. I thought it was the oxygen.
No,
that's
no,
the
it's
humidity.
So that's why some people put inside a fridge after opening. Because
yeah, we have friends in Brazil that they say
I
if you wanna store for lasting longer and not get dry, they always
I mean it could
store.
Could help. I don't know exactly, but it might help. I mean, normally all the chemistry reactions you can slow down if you cool down.
Yeah, and so when you use the product in Brazil with the high humidity, it's faster. When you use it like in Scandinavia, it's like slower.
I thought it was the heat of Brazil that was the problem.
No, it's the humidity.
So if you use like
so we are
in
from,
Singapore,
we are from a place that's still really, really humid. Our region of Brazil is really. We always thought it was like, no, that today is like cold weather is gonna be better, and so it's even worse maybe because it's more humid than that day.
Exactly. It's humidity, you have to pay attention.
Living and learning.
Already a lesson learned.
Yeah, that was worth the trip already.
But that is what makes these products so successful, because they are easy to use. Essentially, you have humidity already available in the environment. You only need to carry on like one cartridge, apply it, and wait for the reaction to happen and take care of it.
That's why it's great for marine use.
Yeah. So if humidity is what dries, that means even underwater it would dry, or not really.
You need environmental humidity.
Environment, not too much humidity.
Exactly. In the data sheet you find all the range of application of like a proper application, and that is important for durability. If you use it outside of that, it may look good, but if durability and a long lifetime is your target, you need to pay attention.
Yeah, and when you're talking about a boat long term, there is no shortcut.
Don't take shortcuts.
So that's a 522, or what's this recipe?
Just one dummy formulation.
Okay.
We have also some adhesive that can repair. It's aftermarket repair adhesives. It's also a sealant in one. So I don't know if you saw, but normally on a new car, you see on some seals you see this pattern, and this is the favorite pattern for automakers. Robot makes it. And also you can see maybe on the underbody of the car, you can see some kind of this pattern.
Yeah, we can see that. Yes,
this is just the adhesive without paint, but you can overpaint it as you like. And for repair stuff, if you have, for example, two panels, I don't know, you normally weld them and then you have to seal them again. If the corrosion comes in, you're done over there. So you have to seal it with our sealant. Let me show you how it works. And you have to imagine you have your seal underneath in between those two panels. So you're going to connect two panels, weld it, maybe connect it otherwise, and then you can seal them like that. If you like, you can also try 45 degrees angle.
That's really, really soft.
You can use it on the underbody. You can also spray it on the underbody. You can spray. You will spray if you like.
That's just like mind blowing. Like, first of all, I thought spray gun was just for paint.
Yeah.
Then 4 years ago, I found out that I can do the non-skid of the boat, the deck. That's like particles, like hard particles.
Okay.
And now we found out that we can do cork, like fake. Now you can spray Sikaflex.
And you can see all the instructions are written already on the gun.
Okay.
So it just needs 2 turns over here.
Okay. And this is a special gun.
It's a special gun.
Okay.
I mean, you can buy it also on the market. You can fit just normal cartridge inside. You see?
What?
Close it up again. So let's go like this. And then you need, and then.
That's really, really cool. That's like a rubber paint.
So this is actually a 3-in-1 product. You can like seal, damp, sound dampening, and stone chip protection.
So that means if I do the entire bar of the car with this, the rocks coming would be a lot less noisy than we need that. So now we're gonna try to see how resistant it is, because you know sometimes people won't trust us that we can glue things with a sealant or a bounding compound. So now we're gonna show you that it's possible. I mean, we're gonna learn that it's possible.
Have a go.
Oh, can you see? I'm just pulling apart these from. What? So we broke the concrete, but we didn't break the sealant.
Yeah, and the adhesion is still perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, this is so much softer. 1 second, I pause. This was as wide as this. Look how much stretch it had and no break yet.
You see also the percentage of this elongation here. So we are already at 200% elongation.
Unbelievable. Even though it's that hard, it still takes the flexibility of changing the temperature, for example, right? Because the metal of the boat shrinks all the time, like shrinks and expands. This would take that, even though it's really hard, right?
Strong enough for this.
Are you gonna be beat by Sikafly? Yeah, I think we can glue the solar panels to the roof of the van. I think we'll be fine. Thanks so much. Now we can trust even more. We trust already Sika, but there's an extra trust now.
I guess the next step is in the testing lab.
So, you're both Brazilian. You may be cold. If you want to grab a jacket.
No, it's fine.
They have 0 degrees Celsius and they are wearing just t-shirts.
It's all good. It's not cold at all.
Welcome to Switzerland.
I mean, it's not warm.
Yeah.
So we are what? 15-20 minutes walking distance from the city center.
Yeah.
And here we are making adhesive and sealants by the tons, or like several thousand tons. And that is pretty incredible to still have like a fully fledged chemical plant.
Yeah, in the
state of the art globally. You're gonna see the inside of that later on. Steel that can live within the boundary of a city. Here you have the main R&D building, which is beautiful.
Whoa,
especially with a blue sky, which we don't have today. Sorry, we tried to organize that for you, but weather didn't come. First floor, you see the polyurethane, the Sikaflex people. On the second, you have the Sikaforce and Sika Power. On the third, you have really R&D. So like university level R&D, like when we talk about cooking, those are the people that invent the new ingredients and they give them to us to make new cool things. On the fourth floor, you have automotive. Now, electrical vehicles are a very important part of our future and our sustainable future, and we're fully involved in that. And all the history of Sika in automotive. And the fifth floor is the structural application in automotive. So whatever keeps like crashworthiness and a car like together in a very lightweight form, but still safer and safer every year. As soon as we turn the corner here, we're going to see the other face of Sika, which is more the construction material and the cementitious part of the story. This is where we operate, and you see like the yellow like taking over. That is actually our people that are going in the field and helping out, making tunnels, like the Gotthard tunnel. I don't know if you have taken it, but you're gonna take it with your van life in the future. It's an impressive one. Sika actually was born there, making the first Gotthard tunnel, the first Alp crossing. Like
that's pretty cool.
More than 100 years ago now.
I mean, it's only automatic. It doesn't like any touches.
It doesn't like human beings. So how long has this been sitting here for stretching? Because it's under tension and it didn't break yet.
As long as I've been here and a lot more. So I don't know. Here they like to break stuff. And sometimes it takes a long time and a lot of effort to do that.
I'm Duka. Nice to meet you.
I heard you are interested in Sikaflex.
Yes.
You are now our president.
It says one by one.
How many are we in R&D here? More than 100, 150, 200. Each one of us makes, I don't know how many formulations per day. And that is really our bread and butter. So everything we make, we need to know how strong it is and how it performs. So we send it over here, and then the robot takes it and tests it for elongation. It measures automatically, basically the mechanical properties. Then there is a grabber, takes it over.
That's really cool. Throws away.
200%, 300.
So it's time to get the microphone back because we're going to go to another area of Sika, but we need to say thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Italian brothers, you know, Italians, they always get along.
I'm Swiss.
Oh, you're Swiss. Oh, Swiss now. That's something.
Nice to see.
That's something different here.
Someone.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for the time. Welcome to cold weather again.
We have seen the R&D lab. Now we are going to take the plant tour. He's rocking the plant at Sika.
I try my best. Welcome to the plant in Zurich. We need some safety stuff before we go to production.
Now we're ready. No? Oh, now we're ready. I see much better now.
Some general information about the plant. So last year we produced around 33,000 tons of adhesives and specialties. So here in Zurich, mainly we are producing adhesives. and then some facilities like primers and activators, for example. So now here we are in the STP department. We have 2 batch mixers. Each mixer has a volume of 1,200 liters. And here we are producing different colors of adhesives. So we have everything from white to black, a lot of different gray tones, browns, anthracite, whatever. And after we finish black, we have to clean the full system. And we are always producing from light to dark. So the campaign starts with white adhesive, and then the color gets more and more dark. Okay. Till we reach black. Yep. And after we finish black, we have to clean the full system.
And how long does it take to clean the system?
We have to clean the system because it's not possible to splash the dark material out with light material. Yep. You will always have an influence on the color.
But how long does it take to clean?
It depends a bit, but it takes like 3 to 5 hours.
3 to 5 hours.
And we have this all 2 weeks. Okay. We have 2 batch mixers.
Okay.
Each of these mixers has 3 of these mobile beakers.
Okay.
So we can move them. And we have 3 beakers in 1 row. Okay. So we have production over there. Okay. Filling over there. So we have 1 line here, 1 line there. This is the first step when a new empty beaker is coming. Okay. Here we make the pre-dosing of some fluids. Okay. After we did this pre-dosing, and the mixer is free, we take this beaker, put it under the mixer, and then we're starting the process. We're dosing fillers, for example, different powders and additives, mix it together. Then we have to degas it, that we have no air in the system. And then the process step under the mixer is finished. Yeah? Then the finished beaker gets stored here. We have here a lid with dried air that we don't have starting of the reaction. After the filling is finished, we take the full beaker, put it here under the press, and then we start the filling process. In this case here, we have a Unipack filling line. Okay. Different sizes, 300 to 600 milliliters. So here we are able to produce 30 to 40 Unipack units per minute.
Per minute? And 1 tank of those, how many bottles of Sika can
Unipacks?
You make? Yeah.
If you have 600 milliliters, we have around 2,000 Unipacks in 1 batch.
And how many a day do you make?
It depends a bit on the product mix, but it is between, let's say, 10 and 40. We are able here not only to fill into Unipacks, we are also able to fill into drum, filling a drum right now. So this can be an intermediate drum, that means we refill it later in cartridges. Okay. Or it's a finished drum and we sell it straight to the customer.
So this plastic inside is to make sure it won't cure before, right? That's just to seal better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also for the internal use, the drums, we use a few times.
Oh, okay.
It takes a few more minutes.
Yeah,
you can have a quick look outside. We have different silos, but we receive also a lot of packaging material, of course, and also raw materials in trucks. We will have later also a quick look in the logistics center. So the first job is usually that the logistic guy has to identify what kind of material it is. We have all our articles in SAP. So all the packaging, all the raw materials is inside the SAP. And they check also at the beginning if we have to do an incoming goods control. Do we need a sample for the lab to check, for example, water content of fillers or something like this? This happens in the logistics center. And then also it gets stored in our full automatic storage center. And the production team later can search with the article number the raw material they need and get it out automatically. Oh, and
even out automatic?
Yes, and it's also first in, first out. That means if they order or searching for an article number, on top there is always the oldest material. So we don't get this risk that we have material for years inside the storage center that doesn't get used.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, I guess we get in again. So now the drum is full. This is for taking the samples for the quality lab. Okay. So from each batch we are taking samples for the lab. Okay. And then we have defined inspections we have to do. So we have like some standard measurements we do with every batch. For example, extrusion force is a kind of viscosity measurement, and skin time that shows us the reaction. Okay. And then we can, for example, adjust in the system that we want all 3 batches extra sample for some mechanical tests.
But every single batch, every single one, you have a sample or not really?
Not a single drum,
or
every single beaker.
Oh, every single, okay.
One beaker is like one batch,
okay.
In this case.
So it's one sample for that beaker.
And then it's defined, we have process papers where the operators have all the information, what kind of packaging they need, what kind of filter they need. So we have also a filter system in here.
Yeah.
Depending on the application, you need a smaller filter size. So filter size is between 160 microns and 750.
How many drums you can get from one batch?
Six drums.
6 drums. Can I track that to the batch that was produced?
Yes. So this is the basket for the quality department. How smooth the material is, that there are no particles in. And then you have the samples. And here you have also the information with the batch number. And this picks up the lab later. And this batch, these drums are also blocked in our storage center till it gets released from the quality department.
Okay.
So there's no chance that no good material goes to the customer. If a customer has, we have a strange behavior of an adhesive. Yeah. We know, we can check first here. Do we see something suspicious? So everything is documented.
And how many people work on the plant?
It's around 800 people with R&D, with corporate. We have human resource, we have marketing, IT.
Yeah.
It's 800. And just in the plant, it's like 120 to 130. With engineers, with quality, with mechanicals, and so on.
It's not many for the amount of products that you ship. So now that we saw them making the product, we're going to go to the logistics department to see how they distribute the product. That's pretty cool.
That's it.
This is knowing.
So this is a part from the logistics department.
Okay.
And here in this area, we are loading the trucks where we ship the material to our storage center in Germany. There's the main storage center next to Stuttgart. And from there, it gets delivered all over the world. Okay. So in Germany, we have the Sika Supply Center, SSC, and they organize everything. So here in this part, we have the unloading of the incoming goods. Okay. Like I said, packaging material and also raw materials as well. And here on this station, the operator identifies the material, then he books it into the system. So the pallet gets here, becomes a label, it scans automatically, goes into the storage center, and then it's also booked in the storage center. So and the software from the storage center is also connected to SAP, so it gets automatically also into SAP.
So the computer decides where to store?
Yes,
like the robot automatically stores where they think it should, like
exactly.
The computer should.
And with this information, SAP, our planners are doing all the production planning. So they see exactly, okay, there's enough material available, and they are also ordering the packaging material and the raw materials in the future, and they get also automatic a message if there is not enough material available, so they have to order more, for example.
Usually human beings only go inside when there's a problem, or is there anyone that works inside?
No people inside, it's also not possible to go in.
Oh, it's not possible to go in? But
no,
only
because
if you have
it's
a
all
problem.
full automatically.
Only, yes,
and
only if you
course,
stop.
For safety reasons, there shouldn't be people inside.
Only if you stop the machine for maintenance.
Or maintenance, technical problems.
That hopefully never happens.
Exactly,
hopefully.
We don't like that. All right, then we can go to the filling department.
Yes.
This is the material we produce downstairs in these batch mixers and filled into drums. We are starting pressing out one drum. When a drum is finished, it switches automatically on the other side, that the filling machine does not stop.
Yeah.
Because we need some time to change the drum, and to avoid this breakdown, we have two presses, and they work always behind each other. We have cartridge filling. On this filling machine, we have cartridge filling in aluminium cartridges and in plastic cartridges. It's not printed. It means we have a label adding later. Has a big advantage that maybe customer changes the phone number, and with this one you have very high flexibility. Then here we have the filling of the cartridge, adding of the plunger, and here we have the screening of the plunger to close it.
So that's the filling right there?
Over here.
Okay.
So we push the cartridge on this filling pipe, fill it, the filling pushes the cartridge back. At the end we have a small turning of the pipe, that you don't have a string of adhesive and you don't get dirt on the machine.
That's impressive fast.
Then here we have the labeling of the cartridge. And at the end we have this product. We are adding the nozzles. Of course, this can also depend on the product and the customer, what kind of nozzles they want. Over here we have the automatic packing of the boxes. And the box gets closed automatically.
Operation is really cool, like the little circuit that you do.
It's very important that you have smooth and running processes. Now we will have a quick look also to the quality lab. In this part here, for example, we are measuring the extrusion force with these machines. Here you see some of the samples. So these are the main measurements we do with every batch, because the extrusion force shows us a bit, is the dosing good between the fluids and the powders? If this is wrong, you would see it in the extrusion force. And the skin time shows you a bit if you have the right amount of catalyst, and also if you maybe have water in the system you don't want, that it's more reactive, this part. So I mean, this is very important for our plant. All the adhesives are reacting with water or with the humidity in the air and start to cure. That means for us in the manufacturing process, we have to keep the water out of the system as good as possible. That means usually the fillers bring in the biggest amount of water in our formulation, and that's why we have a lot of powders we have to dry before we put it into the mixer and produce the adhesive. So we have a defined surface adding our material, and then later after it cured we check if the adhesion is good on the glass. So this is what we have on this side. We have at least one sample stored here, and here you see the expired dates, so it's a bit sorted. We keep it in case of claims to compare. Okay, what is the claim of the customer? What does he see? Do we see the same? If our sample is perfectly fine, the problem must be somewhere else. Maybe logistic or maybe application to the customer.
Sample gets stored here for how long?
It depends on the expired date. It's something between 6 and 15 months.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate the tour.
It was fun.
It's nice to see in person how the product goes out for real use. We've been using Sika for like years now, all the time, to be honest.
Cool.
For the first 2 years of refitting our boat, people would make fun of us because the boat was 50% made out of Sika.
The name of the boat should be Sika.
That would be a nice name.
Or they say that if you decide to build a new boat, I'm going to buy shares of Sika because it's going to go higher because you use too much.
Maybe next time you paint it yellow?
Yeah, the last time was
orange.
Yeah. No, the problem is that aluminum is, I was talking about, that's a tricky material to have the boat painted because you are on the sun, you're in the cold, you're in the hot, and then it's one more thing to maintain. We really want to paint also this boat orange, but we also really want to have a boat that I can touch, I can scratch, and I don't need to worry about fixing it. And the orange is really hard to keep. Yellow would be hard too. But thanks so much. Really appreciate it. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
And I think everyone at Watts are also gonna be excited because they've been waiting for the tour for a long time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Enjoy.
I think it's time to go back to France. Pretty much, isn't it? It's time to go back to work. We need to build a van. Bye. You say bye. Bye. You say bye. Bye everyone. Thanks everyone. Say bye. See you guys later.